Man,
I think it's more of a labor of work throughout a season. That was a good game, obviously, but
good game.
Our guys played extremely well, and we took advantage of a couple of deals, and so. But it was more about those guys on the field and the way they presented themselves and attacked it from start to finish. So whether it had anything to do with it, I don't know. I'm sure it didn't hurt.
I never saw Nebraska do that to Oklahoma.
Coach, we really appreciate it. Great to learn about your team a little bit. Have a great rest of the summer, and we appreciate your time.
Hey, guys, thanks very much. Appreciate it.
All right. That is Philip Montgomery, the first-year head coach at Tulsa, taking over the program, the Golden Hurricane, in his first year. They had a tough year last year at 2-10, but the offense will be new, faster than ever. Not only do they have Dane Evans at quarterback, but Philip Montgomery was able to get a kid by the name of Chad President, who was originally committed to Baylor as a quarterback, and he got him to follow him to Tulsa. That's a kid with some credentials if you're going to Baylor to be a quarterback.
It makes you think if he might end up being the guy.
Yeah.
If the coach thought a lot of it. I don't know how that went behind the scenes with him and Coach Browse. I mean, they obviously are pretty close. But, that he's got some work to do. I mean, that conference, they've got a long ways to go.
Yeah, and Dane Evans started all their games last year, 23 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. So, he put up some numbers. They have their top three receivers coming back. So they have some good skill players. It's just the defense especially really holds them back. They start the season at home against Florida Atlantic, then at New Mexico, then September 19th at Oklahoma. Wonder if Oklahoma is going to want some personal payback on Montgomery if he had a little something to do with that last year. But still, Tulsa's got a long way to go, as you mentioned. Then Houston at home, Louisiana Monroe at home, at East Carolina, then Memphis at home, at SMU, UCF at home, at Cincinnati, Navy at home, at Tulane. So after the opener, then 2 straight on the road, 2 straight at home, then they go road home the rest of the way. What do you think of Tulsa?
I think it's going to be a really tough year again. I say, I'll see them improving a little bit, but with a new coach, a new system, but I'll go 3-9.
Yeah, that's what I have. I have them at 3-9. You take the non-conference against Oklahoma out. Even some of their home games. Memphis is going to be a challenge at home. Navy is going to be a challenge at home. UCF a challenge at home. Houston a challenge at home. Louisiana Monroe. You say, yeah, you get them at home, but are they ready to beat those teams yet at home? And then for the games that they might have a little bit better shot at, they're on the road, and it's tough. East Carolina's a good team. That they're on the road. Cincinnati's a good team. SMU is improving, so it's probably going to be tough. So we'll go 3-9. But I think he is going to get success there, and they've had success before. So I think that's something that it won't take too long. But in this first year, it's probably going to be tough. It's our Sports Page Summer of College Football. John, I'll on a couple of quick things, and then we'll talk to Western Carolina coach for our preview of the Catamounts. Jimmy Cheek, Joe DiPietro had columns in the News Sentinel on Sunday, had articles. What did you make of what they wrote and the fact that they were there?
Man, we'll run anything in our paper, won't we?
I don't know. You tell us.
Well, I run some of my columns. They're pretty lame. No, it's no surprise. They pretty much they're still spouting the same message. They just don't get it. I mean, all this talk is about one Tennessee. I find ludicrous. How about stating the obvious, will you? It's been one Tennessee for a long, long time before any of these people that work there now came there. And you don't become one Tennessee with a catchphrase. It's a spirit. And it's always been there at Tennessee. I've been here almost 28 years now, Vince, and one of the things I've always been impressed with is how much the athletes pull for their colleagues in other sports. women's sports, men's sports. There's a real sense of unity among the athletes, and I think that comes from within, not from somebody putting a catchphrase on it. It's always been One Tennessee, and I think Pat Summitt did more to promote One Tennessee than anybody who's ever been there. Here's a coach who men coaches, football coaches, Philip Fulmer would bring his football recruits in to meet Pat Summitt. Peyton Manning, when he was trying to make his decision to turn pro, consulted with Pat Summitt. She embodies One Tennessee, and she's the one that made that Lady Vols logo so significant nationally. It's One Tennessee. You can call the women's team the Lady Vols, the men the Vols, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's still One Tennessee. It's one banner with different logos beneath it. I mean, anybody that knows anything about marketing knows that. But it just amazes me how badly they've missed the mark here, and how they've done more to divide Tennessee when they're talking about in the name of One Tennessee. They're doing more for division than they are for pulling everybody together, and they just don't get it.
So do you think that this will help them in any sort of way? I know it's probably too late for some, regardless of what the message is, but was there any better explanation of what they're at least attempting to do in those articles?
No, it's the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing new here. There's nothing new to be said from their vantage point. I mean, you can contradict their vantage point with solid evidence in almost any way you want to. You can bring in marketing professionals and do it. You can bring in UT athletes and do it. You can bring in current, past athletes. You can bring fans, boosters. But they don't get it. They just don't get it. One Tennessee, give me a break. It's always been One Tennessee. It will always be One Tennessee. And it doesn't matter what you call the teams, and the fact that they're still calling the women's basketball team the Lady Vols, so you still have the two logos. So why not keep the logo for the women's sport?
Mm-hmm.
It's so nonsensical and so contradictory. I mean, you've got these people leading a university. I think that's scary.
You could see what they're trying to do in attaching themselves to Butch Jones because of Coach Jones's popularity right now, and saying, hey, he believes in this. This is what we want to do. But, obviously what you just said, that it's
well,
not
yeah,
effective.
I mean, Butch Jones is popular right now because he's recruiting well. But I don't think Butch Jones has any idea how much the Lady Vols logo means. Mm-hmm. He hasn't been here.
Mm-hmm.
And he's great at talk. He's great at catchphrases. He can talk One in Tennessee, and he can promote as well as anybody. But that doesn't change anything. It's always been One Tennessee. You don't do it with what you call a logo. You can have the Power T over umbrella over everything, but you can still call the women athletes the Lady Vols. I mean, none of these guys get it. And I think part of it has to do with the fact that none of them are from here. And they don't understand what went into creating that logo and the value of that Lady Vols within the Tennessee brand. I mean, you still say everybody's under the Power T, fine. But you can still have the Lady Vols, because in a lot of ways that means more nationally than a Power T does.
Mm-hmm.
If you ask somebody in Ohio what the Power T is, and you ask them what Lady Vols are, I think a lot more of them will know about Lady Vols because of what Pat Summitt did. You go anywhere in America and people know who Pat Summitt is. And what I really didn't like in Jimmy Cheek's article was talking about how he did this out of respect for Pat Summitt. He kept the Lady Vols in basketball. He didn't do it out of respect. He knew he couldn't get away with changing the basketball team. It's too prominent nationally. The backlash would be unbelievable. But Pat Summitt wouldn't have wanted the logo change, for Lady Vols' name changed for any sport. She was all about all the sports. She was all about promoting Tennessee about promoting Tennessee women athletes, student athletes in every sport, and about promoting women. She was a great role model for all of those.
That's John Adams, columnist from the Knoxville News Sentinel. You can find his work in today's News Sentinel, GoVolsExtra.com, where if you missed those articles from Jimmy Cheek and Joe DiPietro in yesterday's paper, you can find them at GoVolsExtra.com and come to some conclusions and check those out on your own. We'll continue with our sports page summer of college football with a Tennessee opponent, Western Carolina. That's next. News Sentinel Sports Page brought to you by Image Matters on Sports Radio WNML.
More of the News Sentinel Sports Page brought to you by Image Matters. Next on Sports Radio WNML.
Tell you about my dentist office at Smith Family Dentistry. It is awesome. Daniel is my dentist, and he and the staff there. It amazes me how knowledgeable they are, how nice they are, how much the expansion has helped them out, and they're able to get appointments in there much quicker. And they have so much there. They can show you examples of their past dental work, and they're just a really relaxing atmosphere. And Daniel does the 6-month smiles at Smith Family Dentistry. They do it there, and Daniel has the highest level of training in this area. And the transformation of smiles that you see for adults, their adult clear braces, is just amazing. And you can get your beautiful smile back. They can get it done for you in a short period of time. It's not. It's an easy process. And again, with the clear braces, a lot of people aren't even going to notice them. Before you know, you're done. And you've got that smile, and you don't have to hide it or be uncomfortable smiling anymore. It's 6-month smiles, one of the great things they have at Smith Family Dentistry. Call, make an appointment, find out how great they are. 435-4100 Smith Family Dentistry. My dentist office should be yours as well. You can also find them online at smithfamilydds.com.
Spring is here, and so is the time to start thinking about your landscaping needs. What if there was something magic that could make your life a little easier? Well, there is. Magic Mulch is a 100% environmentally safe and effective way to never have to mulch again. Whether you need mulch for your home, business, or office, Magic Mulch lasts longer, is safer, and requires much less work than average mulch. Call Jeremy at Magic Mulch today, 603-4494. That's 603-4494.
Join Gold's Gym today through June 30th for only $19.65 to enroll with a special legacy membership offer. Get the latest in equipment, group exercise classes, free kids club, and more. Call 800-99-GOLDS to find a Knoxville location nearest you. Annual contract required. Prorated and final dues collected. Standard market fees apply. Participating locations only. See gym for details.
Gold's Gym, a standard of fitness since 1965.
And now, a touching moment while staying in touch with Geico.
Just the other night, as I gazed up into the sky, I saw a shooting star. In that moment, I made a wish that Geico would be available 24/7, by phone, on the web, or with the Geico app. After that, I realized my wish had already come true. So basically, I had just wasted a perfectly good wish. Then I started to think about dolphins and felt better right away.
Geico. Anywhere, anytime.
Back on the road.
Nice horn.
Who are you?
I'm the Wyndham Rewards Wizard, and I'm driving. Let's go.
Whoa, Wizard, is this barbecue heaven?
Nope. All those nights on the road, you earned a weekend in Memphis.
Oh, I'm going to get some ribs.
Go on, partner. Wizard out.
15,000 Wyndham Rewards points earns a free night at over 7,500 Wyndham Rewards hotels. Start with our summer bonus point offer. Visit WyndhamRewards.com for details.
You've earned this.
Email your questions or comments for the show to sportspage at sportsanimal99.com. You're listening to the News Sentinel Sports Page on Sports Radio WNML.
Back here at Gettysview Country Club, boy, this is gorgeous. We're set up on the back patio It is for the 12th annual UT Partners in Sports Golf Tournament. It is completely student-planned and operated here. They do it each and every year. Fantastic staff, and always nice to be a part of this annual